So, should you watch Shinobi no Ittoki? Alright, that's a good question, right? Well, I think it's going to come down to a few factors. Do you like ninjas? Do you like Shinobi? Does that narrative interest you? What if I put the main character in school? What if I put the main character wanting to be a teenager and just simply fall in love and not really be a shinobi? Do those kind of things, do those kind of keywords really kind of trigger you into saying, yeah, I would totally be interested in that? Well, if that's the case, then Shinobi no Ittoki might be an anime for you. But the reality, the thing that we all have to think about, is a couple of factors. I think episode 1 was really, really solid. But at the B side of that, the secondary thing to that is we're in an anime season right now where you have My Hero Academia Season 6, you have Bleach returning after 10 years, you have Chainsaw Man, you have a ton of different anime that is saying, watch me. So do you have the time on Tuesdays to watch Shinobi no Ittoki? And if the answer is yes to that, if you don't really have much going on Tuesday, then my recommendation is yes, you watch this anime. I think this was a really solid episode 1. And if you're not familiar with the channel, hi, I'm Dom. I'm from the Otaku Room, and I here review anime on a weekly basis, and sometimes I come and do these opinion pieces and say, hey, is this anime worth a watch? And with that being said, a lot of the things that I always tout and I always say here on the channel is I think episode 1 is so important. And there's a lot of people out there who do the 3-episode anime rule, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do it myself from time to time. And that anime rule is really... It really exists when you're completely unsure about an anime. When you are completely like, I might like this, but I'm not really sure. I need to give it more time. But in my personal opinion, I think episode 1 is really the determination of should you watch or should you not watch. Because at the end of the day, episode 1 is the hook, right? It is the hook that they put out there to grab the fish. We're the fish. Me and you are the fish. And they're trying to catch us and catch our attention and say, hey, come back every Tuesday. Come back every day at this time and watch this anime. And that really starts with episode 1. It needs to make an impression on you to say, yeah, I want to come back for more. I want to eat more. This fried chicken was so good, I want to have another piece. And I really think that episode 1 is really that important. So let's talk about Shinobi no Ittoki. So essentially this follows a main character, Ittoki, and I don't think this was like the best episode 1, but I think it was good enough to vie for our attention. So this follows a main character named Ittoki, and he is a third-year middle school student, so he's about to transition into high school. And currently, his mom is making him take everything under the sun. This dude's in cram school, he's in flower clubs, a gymnastic club. Like, he's in all kinds of different extracurriculars all the time. And although he's not the smartest person in the world, he is in a lot of different activities per his mother. Now, we find out, kind of through the episode that he is very athletic. He has a lot of things going on for him. His father is dead. He's being raised by a single mother. He knows that he has like an uncle and a certain family, and he's always being watched over by one specific girl who likes to wear like a ninja mask. And that's kind of the person, like a confidant, a family friend who's kind of always watching over him. Now, apparently, he's never kind of taken this out of context and really kind of thought about why this happens, but regardless, it happens. Throughout the episode, he ends up like finally getting confessed to because one of the girls saw him kind of do some acts of shinobiness. And even though that's not what he is yet, he just saw him being really athletic, so she takes interest in him. He gets confessed to. He gets taken to her room. She tries to seduce him, and just by nature of him being young and immature, he decides to think like, hey, this must be a joke. Thankfully, it saved his bacon. He gets attacked by a lot of other shinobi because shinobi are after him for whatever reason. And he ends up finding out that this girl is part of an opposite clan. apparently throughout the first 13, 14, 15 years, he's somewhere between 13 and 15. He's a third year in middle school, so he's probably about 15 years old. Basically, through his whole life, he's been ignorant of the fact that his mother, father were the heads of this 𝐒𝐻𝐽 clan, and he is, in fact, a shinobi or ninja descendant himself. He was ignorant to that his whole entire life. How? I don't know, understand. How did you never notice any of these things? But regardless, we're not going to talk about that. So he gets stuck in a trap. He gets saved. He finds out that he's the head. He's the child of the head of this ninja clan. His mom gives him the deets about everything that went on. There is a feud right now between villages. Essentially, there's a feud between families, kind of like Yakuza. And there is a feud right now between the 𝐒𝐻𝐽𝐽 clan and the 𝐒𝐻𝐽 clan. He's part of the 𝐒𝐻𝐽 clan, so he's kind of caught up in the middle of it. And now he needs to begin training to be a proper shinobi so that he can kind of be the inherited head of this family someday in his life. I'm sure as the anime continues to go on, we'll get more context, we'll get more backstory, we'll probably get him caught up in a lot more situations between the 𝐒𝐻𝐽𝐽 and the 𝐒𝐻𝐽as. We'll probably get to see him train more when it comes to being trained for his ninja-ness. We'll probably get a backstory on how his father died and everything like that. We find out that the 𝐒𝐻𝐽 clan as well, their head leader had died as well, so it's a chance that his dad probably took out that guy took out his dad, something like that. We'll probably get more backstory as kind of the anime unfolds all the way out through fall season, which could be pretty cool. And overall, I think my assessment of this anime is Ittoki seems a little, he seems smart but dumb. Kind of like a lot of main characters we get nowadays where he's intelligent, but at the same time when it comes to social cues, understanding things, kind of being aware of your surroundings, he's very dumb in that way. He's also pretty immature, which is kind of normal standard for kids around 14 or 15 years old, especially in middle school, and especially main characters in anime. It's probably par for the course. Some of the questions I had while watching this was, why haven't you ever taken notice of the girl who's always following you? She seems to be the one that's kind of interested in you. Not only does she want to protect you, but she seems really close to you. What's kind of going on there? Has she always kind of followed you? There's a lot of questions that I had throughout this as far as romanticness. The other question I had is, did you really never notice any kind of things, any kind of shenanigans going on your entire life? Seems kind of suspect. Regardless, is what it is. But I think this anime, like I said, this video is should you watch? And I think this one did enough to say, hey, there is an interesting plot here going on. If you like shinobis, if you like ninjas, there's enough interesting stuff going on here. If you like a little romance sprinkled into your silly fantasy anime, I think there's enough here for that. But at the end of the day, like I said, there's a lot of different anime right now, and if you only have so much time, I don't know if this one is it, but if you have enough time, specifically on Tuesdays, to watch this on Crunchyroll, and wherever it's premiering, maybe depending what part of the world you're in, then this could be enough to vie for your time. I think it's interesting enough. And I think it's doing just enough to say, hey, you should watch this. Now, for me personally, I don't know if I'm going to watch this every single Tuesday. I don't know if I have time like that, but I will watch this seldomly. Very similar to what I did during the summertime. I watched a sports anime called 𝐜𝐴𝐚𝐽𝐽𝐽, and I didn't get to watch it on a weekly cadence, but I would catch up to it, every other weekend when I had time. And I would watch 2 or 3 episodes depending on how far back I was, and that's kind of how I caught up and finished the anime. So this is probably something similar that I will do, and maybe you should do as well for this anime is, as I have free time, I'll watch 1, 2, or 3 episodes, just kind of like as I have time, because I think it is interesting enough for a watch, and so far episode 1 was good. So let me know what you guys thought. If you guys checked out episode 1, if you didn't, let me know if anything I said is going to sway you, and if not, if it didn't sway you at all, that's okay too. Let me know what anime you are watching in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. I'm Dom from the Otaku Room, and we'll see you on the next Should You Watch. Peace.